What?
What?
What the hell is this?
Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Give the governor harumph.
Harumph!
You watch your ass.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Let the show begin.
Hey everybody, this is David Heretic coming at you with another edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. And tonight... Okay, making their debut on the channel tonight, we have Ween. Yes, indeed. How about that? Ween making their debut on the channel. Before we go any further, for those of you who are feeling inclined to do all the clicks and the likes and the bibbity bob, do me a favor. Before you do all that stuff, please watch the whole video first, okay? Give me a chance to earn those clicks and likes. Now, after the video's done, if you're still feeling like you want to do all those clicks and likes, then by all means, feel free to click away. This comes as a request from JZiggy5, and JZiggy5 wanted to see me react to this song by Ween called Buckingham Green. Now, have I heard the song before? No, I have not. To the best of my knowledge, this does not resonate with me in any way, shape, or form. However, there's always a possibility I may have heard the song in passing and I just don't realize it. So as always, if I start listening to the song and I suddenly go, ha, seriously? This is that song? I recognize this. I'll let you know.
That's the truth.
You know me, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. This was posted by Chessy Cheetos Central, and the video has 107,094 views. It'll get you there. Other than that, there's really nothing else left to say. Link to the original video will be down below in the video description for your viewing pleasure at your leisure. Let's get started. What do you say? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because here we go. All right, here we go. Ween, Buckingham Green, live in Chicago. Cool. All right, let's do this.
All right, boy, let's do this.
Hello? Hey. Hello, Chicago. All right.
A child without an eye made her mother cry. Why ask why? She kept her child clean on Buckingham Green. The children saw the eye as a sign from God descending from the sky. It was all right to dream of Buckingham Green.
Oh, there's a theremin. So there's a theremin he's using over there. Okay, I wasn't sure if that was a keyboard or he was actually going to be using a theremin. Those are interesting. Those are really interesting instruments when they're used properly. And there was another band. What was it? The Tea Party. I saw using one. When they're used properly, they can be a very effective musical instrument. They can be. I have also seen bands, and I've played with bands that have used them, and they overuse them, and to the point where, to be quite blunt, they abuse them, and it becomes like the lead instrument. And I'm just sitting here going, it should never be a lead instrument. I'm sorry. I know there's going to be people who disagree with me with that, but that should never be a lead instrument. It should never be more important than anything else. If that takes over and becomes the primary instrument, I just can't get behind it. I'm sorry. I just can't. I hated playing with. There was one. I'm not going to say the name of the band, but there was one band in particular where they intentionally made it the lead instrument. Like, instead of a guitar virtuoso band like Steve Vai or Joe Satriani, they did a theremin virtuoso band, and they made it all about the theremin. And I kid you not, have you ever heard a theremin solo before? Where, like, no one else is playing. It's like a guitar solo where the guitar player comes out front and center. Everybody else, goes off stage to take a break, whatever. And the guitar player comes up front and center and does a little solo for like 2 or 3 minutes or 4 minutes, whatever the case may be. Okay, imagine that being done with a theremin. Okay, now imagine that being done for, I kid you not, over 12 minutes. 12 minutes and I think 38 seconds or something like that. I kid you not. And I remember peeking out from behind the wing on stage left, and I remember kind of peeking out going, is the crowd really into this? And the crowd wasn't even paying attention. Nobody was watching. I mean, nobody. Everybody was at the bar. Everybody was talking to each other. Everybody was completely ignoring what was happening on stage. And yet this Nimrod, who thinks he is, God's gift to theremin players around the world, continued on and on and on. And I remember looking at the drummer, and the drummer just looked miserable. And I went over and talked to him. I was like, does this always happen? And he just looked at me. He's like, brother, you have no idea. That was my one and only show with that band. I made it very clear that I had absolutely no desire to come and work for them ever again. But when it is used properly and when it's used sparingly, it can be a very effective instrument. It really can. It's an unusual instrument, not something you see every day, and it's definitely a conversation piece. It'll get the crowd like interested and engaged, and what the heck is that? And it's cool for that reason. It definitely is. Let's keep going here. And for our next magic trick, we're gonna make the guitar player disappear. Hey, there it is. That's a lot of smoke. That is a lot of smoke. It doesn't help that the guitar player actually is playing into it and going down into the smoke. That doesn't help. But I mean, just looking at this shot even, that's a lot of smoke on stage. Woo, man. I think most musicians who have played with stage smoke, theater smoke, I think you'll agree with me when I say this. Man, that stuff smells and tastes nasty. It does, man. It's got this like, it smells like burnt sugar and it tastes like burnt sugar. Now, the reason I'm saying it tastes like it is, you know, taste is like, what is it? Like 40 or 50% smell, right? What you taste is, a lot of what you taste is based on what you can smell. You breathe that stuff in. I kid you not. When you're on stage and you're playing and that stuff comes billowing out and you breathe it in, it doesn't hurt you. It doesn't do anything to harm your body, but man, it gets in your nose and it gets in your mouth and you can smell and taste burnt sugar. It is just foul tasting. Absolutely foul tasting. I hate stage smoke. I really do. It's the one thing I dread about being on stage is when I find out, oh God, story time again. When we were doing a show, and the theater that we were playing at, it was a decent sized stage. It wasn't like we were crammed together. It was a good sized stage. We had plenty of room to move around. And we were told that there were smoke machines, and we were like, great, how many? And they said, we have 8 smoke machines. And I just remember going, oh God, no. Okay, fine. I'll just do my best. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, 8 smoke machines. They're staggered around. It's a good size stage. It's not going to be too bad. Well, they had 2 smoke machines, one on stage left, one on stage right, aimed downward. They were up in the rigging and they were aimed down. The other 6 were all under the drum riser, pointing straight forward. So we come out, we start the show, and this billow, look, it looked like London fog just came billowing out from under the drum riser. And the lead singer, and unfortunately, I got caught in this. I was on the lead singer's left, and one of our guitar players was on the lead singer's right. And the 3 of us just got completely smothered and covered in this theater smoke. You could not see us. We had a hard time breathing. It was so thick. Oh God. I'm having flashbacks of that day. That was interesting. We avoided center stage from that point out. We really did our best to kind of avoid everything that had to do with the center of the stage because we didn't want to get hit with that again. That was bad. Woo! Let's see if the guitar player reappears now, shall we? Turn it up. It should be this, not this. This means okay. You want the volume to go up, you should be doing this. But I mean, every band has their own system of communication with the soundboard guy, obviously. So, or the monitor guy. Not really a whole lot to talk about, honestly. I mean, it's a pretty straight ahead song. Let me think about it. I'll see you in the review and we'll talk about it. Well, there you go, folks. That was Ween with Buckingham Green. This was a request from JZiggy5. Okay, let's just get to it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give that a 7.5. Yep, 7.5. I feel good about that score. Let me tell you why.
Why?
It's not a complicated song. This song, actually, believe it or not, this song is a lot simpler than it sounds. It sounds a lot more complicated than it really is. First of all, we're in A. One of the easiest keys to play in from a guitar and bass standpoint. Even from a keyboard standpoint, really not that hard to play in A. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of accidentals. You don't have to worry about a whole lot of sharps and flats. It's pretty simple. To be honest with you, A minor, there are no sharps and flats. So you're good to go. Let's see. If we're talking about chordal flow and chordal structure, everything they did made sense. It made sense. There were some variations that I wasn't quite expecting. When A down to the F, up to the C. Now, when it went up to C, I was expecting to go down to G. Instead, they went up to D. Now, that makes sense. It does make sense. It's just, it wasn't what I was expecting. You usually expect that, root down to the 6, up to the 3, down to the 7. You hear so many bands use that riff, 1, 6, 3, 7. God, there's so many songs that use that riff. So I was kind of expecting that. So hearing it go up instead of hearing it go down to the 7, go up to the 4, I was like, interesting. Then it went up to the 5, and I'm like, even more interesting. But it makes sense, because from the 5, you have a lot of choices you can go. You can go to the 7. You could go down to the 3 if you want. You can go back down to the 4. You have a lot of options when you get to that 5. So, it made sense. It absolutely made sense to do that. I got no problem with the song structure. I got no issue with the song at all, to be honest with you, from a musicality standpoint. Instrumentally, now this was actually probably the highlight of the song for me, was the instrumentation and the instrumentality. 2 guitar players, bass, drums, keyboard, and the keyboard player was also, had that theremin that he went to twice. Only twice, and both times briefly. I told you guys the story about the band that was like, they made the theremin like the feature instrument, and man, I'm sure that there is a certain small demographic, an audience of people who would actually enjoy that. I'm sure there are. Now, I'm not discrediting those people. I'm not saying those people are nuts. I'm not saying those people are insane. I'm not saying those people are crazy. I'm not saying those people are stupid. I'm not saying anything like that. All I'm saying is that audience is going to be small. It is going to be a very small demographic, because most people are not going to look at the theremin as a lead instrument. So using theremins briefly and sparsely, tastefully and strategically, yeah, I got no issue with it whatsoever. No problem with it whatsoever. It's unique, and it definitely provides a unique feel and a unique sound. So I got no problem with it whatsoever. That keyboard player had quite the setup. I saw, 5 different keyboards, I think. I heard harmonies in the vocals towards the end, and they showed both guitar players, the bass player and the drummer. And none of them, only the lead vocalist was on the mic. So the only person we did not see was the keyboard player. So I'm assuming that the keyboard player was doing the harmonies. If he wasn't, then they were using a track. And I got no problem with track usage. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, if you use track, you're not really playing live. I disagree. I'm sorry, but I mean, we use track, and I got no problem with it, and we play live as well. We use the track to help fill out the sound that we can't do. You know, like, you know, sound effects, you know, extra gang vocals, choir, stuff like that. We use track ourselves, so I'm not going to sit there and criticize the band for using track as long as they are playing live with the track, and I can guarantee you these guys were playing live. The guitar tones on these were really nice. Both guitar players had great guitar tone. A bit of variation between the two. They weren't using the exact same patch, which is good because it's going to make the guitar sound fuller and thicker. It's going to give it a bigger sound. Bass and drums locked in, sounded really good. Got no issue with them whatsoever. Got a nice groove going within the song that fit the mood and tone and really set the mood and tone that everybody else was able to follow. So I got no issue with that whatsoever. My only gripe, and it's not even really a gripe, it's just personal taste. The vocals. He was singing accurately. Like, he was singing the notes properly as far as I could tell. Nothing sounded out of place. Everything sounded like it was in key. I didn't hear anything that sounded flat or sharp. He wasn't singing breathy. He wasn't singing weak. No, he was doing a fine job. I just don't think I'm a big fan of his tone. It's very nasally, like Anthony Kiedis nasally. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of it, if I'm being honest with you. I kept waiting for it to grow on me, and it never did. Maybe if I listen to these guys more, maybe it will. But I mean, as it stands right now, I'm not a fan of the tone. But that's not to say that he did anything wrong. I mean, everything that he sang sounded correct. Everything he sang sounded proper. Everything he sang sounded like it was in key, in tune, and it needed to be done. It's just the tone, and that's just personal preference. You know, that did I hold that against them? No, I did not. That's just me being me, and I'm just not a big fan of that nasally tone. But that did not take away from the score because there wasn't anything wrong that they were doing. It's just his voice. So I'm not going to hold that against them. The live show was okay. I mean, it wasn't great. It wasn't spectacular. I get the feeling this was the first song of their set, and I don't know. I've always been an advocate, I guess is the best way to put it. I've always been an advocate that whenever you play in live, you don't want to start with your best song, but you want to start with a very strong song, a popular song, a song that everybody knows, and you want to have energy, and you want to go out on stage, and you want to put on a great show, right? You want to put on especially as your opener, you want to go out there and start and kick things off with a bang. I didn't really see the bang from these guys. I didn't. The funniest thing I saw, and well, not even the funniest thing, it turned out to be funny, but the best thing I saw was the guitar player during the guitar solo losing himself in the smoke. I mean, that was entertaining, but at the same time, it was also a little distressing. The guitar player is doing a guitar solo and you can't see him.
What the hell's going on tonight?
Does that make sense? It doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, if he wants to dip down and disappear for, couple of seconds just to kind of make fun of the overusage of smoke, I am absolutely on board with that. I mean, we've done that ourselves with overusage of smoke, where we'll dive into the smoke and we'll sit there for a couple seconds and then we'll emerge, and that's kind of our middle finger to the stage fans, going, guys, would you mind turning that crap down? Stop making us breathe this crap. But at the same time, when he stayed down there for the entire solo, I don't get that. I don't know why he would do that. But in any case, the live show was okay. It was okay. I liked the song more than I liked the live show. So 7.5, it's a really good score. Now, we may have some new people on the channel here who are Ween fans. They've never been to the channel before, so they have no idea what a 7.5 is. Well, first of all, welcome to the channel. Glad to have you here. Second thing, if you're not sure about what that 7.5 means, I got the solution for you. Take a look down below in the video description. Go ahead and scroll down a little bit, and you're gonna find in the video description my scoring system chart. Now, look in there, and you're gonna see that 7.0 to 7.9 is the grading scale for what? What does it say? Does it say bad? No. Does it say terrible? No. Does it say horrible? No. Does it say okay? Nope. Does it say pretty good? Nope. It says really good. Believe it or not, I'm giving this a really good score. The song, like I said, I enjoyed the song. The only thing, my only personal gripe, and this is just a personal thing with me, was the vocal tone. Everything else was fine. Everything else made sense. Everything else sounded good. I just wasn't thrilled with the vocal tone, and to be honest with you, the live show really didn't do anything for me at all. So, but 7.5 is still a really good score. It's right smack dab in the middle. So, 7.5 is where we're at, and 7.5 is where we're going to stay. So, 7.5, final score, I have spoken. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of Reactions, Reviews, and Rants. Hope you all enjoyed the show. Hopefully, I was able to entertain you. If I was able to put a smile on your face and brighten your day, then I did my job, and I'm so glad I could do it. If you guys feel like joining the fan base, go ahead and click on that button down there. If you guys want to like the video, go ahead and like the video. If you guys want to ring the bell, go ahead and ring the bell. It honestly doesn't make any difference at all to me. But if you guys feel like doing these things, then by all means, feel free to do so. Well, that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for watching. And as always, this is David Heretic signing off, reminding you to stay fabulous and support each other. Later. Peace.